Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We start with a story from Trinidad and Tobago. 6 days after the country recorded its first case of the highly transmissible Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus, the Ministry of Health reported on Sunday that Trinidad and Tobago has its first homegrown Omicron case, that is, a case with no recent overseas travel history or contact with a COVID-19 case. This was confirmed in a press release, which also revealed 2 additional cases for a total of 5 confirmed Omicron cases in the country, 4 imported and 1 homegrown. The presence of the Omicron variant was confirmed via gene sequencing at the laboratory of the Faculty of Medical Sciences UWI St. Augustine campus. According to the World Health Organization (WHO), to date, 89 countries have confirmed cases of the Omicron variant. Research has suggested that this variant is more easily transmissible from person to person than previous variants, but further information is needed on its impact on persons who contract this variant. Turning to news from Cuba. Cuba has vaccinated more of its citizens against COVID-19 than most of the world's largest and richest nations, a milestone that will make the poor communist-run country a test case as the highly contagious Omicron variant begins to circle the globe. The Caribbean island has vaccinated over 90% of its population with at least 1 dose, and 83% of the population is now fully inoculated, placing it second globally behind only the United Arab Emirates among countries of at least 1 million people, according to official statistics compiled by Our World in Data. Nearly all of Cuba's children aged 2 to 18 have now been vaccinated with homegrown vaccines. Schools have reopened and foreign tourists are once again welcome. Hospitals and morgues overflowing in August appear to be operating at pre-pandemic levels. Cuba's progress is being tracked by COVAX, a global scheme designed to ensure fair access to COVID-19 vaccines. Cuba is also studying whether the Omicron variant, which was first reported on the island on December 8, will impact protection. Ransom money was raised to pay for the release of a group of Canadian and American missionaries kidnapped in Haiti, but a dozen of them escaped captivity on their own, the U.S.-based Christian ministry group which organized their trip to the Caribbean country said on Monday. The missionaries, who were abducted in October by a gang known as 400 Mawauzo after visiting an orphanage, originally numbered 17 people. 2 hostages were freed in late November and 3 were released earlier this month. Haitian police said on Thursday that the final dozen hostages had been found by authorities on a mountain called Morne-et-Cabrit. A spokesman for the missionary group, Weston Showalter, told the news conference in Millersburg that the last 12 hostages had plotted their escape and eventually walked miles to a point of safety where they could contact authorities. Leftist candidate Gabriel Boric has won Chile's presidential election to become the country's youngest ever leader. In what was expected to be a tight race, the 35-year-old former student protest leader defeated his far-right rival Jose Antonio Cast by 10 points. Mr. Boric told supporters that he would look after democracy, promising curbs on Chile's neoliberal free market economy. Mr. Boric's victory prompted celebrations on the streets of the capital Santiago, with his supporters waving flags and honking car horns. Mr. Boric said he was taking on the job with humility and a tremendous sense of responsibility, vowing to firmly fight against the privileges of a few. Official results gave Mr. Boric 56% of the votes against Mr. Cast's 44%. Mr. Cast conceded defeat barely an hour and a half after polls closed, and with around half of the ballots counted. Both candidates offered starkly different visions for the country, and both are outsiders representing political parties that have never been in government. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.